We are in Caracas, Venezuela, ready to discover how a 19th century doctor became Venezuela's biggest cultural and faith phenomenon. But our story doesn't start here. It begins in Guárico State, with an anecdote that science still cannot explain. A bullet in the head, 2 days without surgery. Science considers a death sentence or a life of disability. But Yaxuri Sorosano defined all medical loss. How did she survive the injury? And even more incredible, how did she recover without a single after effect?
It all happened on March 10, 2017. This 10-year-old girl was riding a motorcycle with her father in the rural settlement of Mangas Coveras. Some criminals tried to rob them, failing to get the motorcycle. They shot, and the bullet hit behind the girl's right ear, right in the parietal region of her head.
The projectile caused a severe injury, loss of brain, matter, and bone tissue. The doctors in San Juan de los Moros were clear. If she survived, she would be left with very severe motor, visual, and language sequelae. It was a medical death sentence. However, against all odds, Yaxuri remained hospitalized for 20 days and left walking and talking normally without any disability. Yaxuri Sorosano's mother was deeply devoted to José Gregorio Hernández, and in the midst of desperation for her daughter's life, she faithfully begged him to save her. That plea is considered by the Catholic Church to be the official miracle of the beatification of our Dr. José Gregorio Hernández in 2021. Now, let's learn the story of the one who achieved this marvelous miracle. José Gregorio Hernández Cisneros was born on October 26, 1864, in Misnotú, Trujillo. He was the first of 13 children born from the beautiful union of Benigno María Hernández and Josefa Antonia Cisneros.
Unfortunately, he lost his mother at the age of 8 due to complications during the birth of her last child. At 13, he wanted to study law, but his father convinced him to go to Caracas and study medicine. But first, he needed to finish high school by enrolling in the prestigious Colegio Villegas, and there he began his piano studies. At 17, he was already at the Central University of Venezuela, UCV.
At the age of 24, on June 28, 1888, he received his title as a Doctor of Medicine. After graduating, he obtained a government scholarship to go to Europe, which gave him the opportunity to study in Paris and Berlin.
There he experimented in areas such as microbiology, normal histology, pathology, bacteriology, and experimental physiology, since these were little-known subjects in Venezuela. Welcome to the Central University of Venezuela, the place where José Gregorio Hernández changed forever the way medicine was taught and practiced in our country. In 1891, after returning from his studies in France, he founded the first experimental physiology laboratory here at the UCV. José Gregorio not only brought knowledge, he also brought modern instruments like microscope, equipped with the output, chromatic, and immersion objectives, and he also thought of use.
And not only that, by presidential decree, the professorship of histology, experimental physiology, pathological anatomy, and bacteriology were created. And guess who was appointed professor for all of them? José Gregorio Hernández, a true genius of science.
He was known for his simplicity. His home was modest of lack luxuries. He believed that medicine was a priesthood of human suffering.
That's why he was called the Doctor of Poor. He paid for their medicines, gave them free prescriptions, and attended them at any hour, day or night. Although he attended several presidents, his main commitment was to the people.
His faith was so profound that he traveled to Italy in 1907 to attend a monastic life at the Carthusian Monastery of Farnese. He was accepted thanks to the Archbishop's recommendation and adopted the name Fray Marcelo. But the climate, excessive exercise, and study broke his health, forcing the Father Superior to send him back to Caracas. He tried again in 1933 in Rome, but it was short-lived due to a lung infection and the start of the First World War.
We are at the Esquina de Amadores Corner, right at the entrance to the La Pastora parish. This corner is historical. It was once named Tío Medina, and the politician Antonio Locadio Guzmán had his house here. The corner took its name from the Amadores family, and the Antigua Botica de los Amadores, old Amadores pharmacy, was nearby.
But the history of this corner changed suddenly. One afternoon, on June 29, 1919, the calm was broken. Dr. José Gregorio Hernández was going to that pharmacy to buy medicine for a patient without resources.
It was right here that he was hit by one of the cars that already exist in the city of Caracas, an A6 Super 6, driven by his friend Fernando Bustamante Morales. Many people believe that he died from the crash, but that was not the case. The impact caused him to fall very forcefully against this sidewalk. The impact caused him a severe fracture to his skull and a severe hemorrhage. The doctor of the poor, at 54 years old, arrived lifeless at Vargas Hospital. Since that day, the Esquina of Amadores stopped being just any corner.
Today, it is a place of devotion, decorated with murals and plaques in honor of the saint. This corner has been forever linked to the memory of Jose Gregorio Hernandez. After his death, popular devotion arose spontaneously through word of mouth. This prompted people to visit his tomb, which was initially in the General Cemetery of the South, Cementerio General del Sur. This burial ground, founded in 1876 to replace the parish cemeteries, was not only the most important in Caracas and a National Historic Monument, declared in 1982. It was the first major center of massive pilgrimage, representing the historical memory of the city. They had to remove him from there because of the large number of people who made pilgrimage to his tomb and placed candles, which one day caused a large fire.
However, the faith of the people called him to another place. His remains were transferred to the Nuestra Señora de la Candelaria Church, a temple dating back to 1708, and one of the oldest and most emblematic in Caracas.
The move happened while he was being made a saint, on October 23, 1975. This made La Candelaria the main center for people's faith. The church is a very old and important place for culture, and today is where Venezuelan faith stays strong, mixing history always and the real presence of the Blessed One. The church and the priests from Caracas, especially Father Gerardino Barancini, look after his remains, including one special part, his finger relic.
The devotion of people is priceless because of this. Jose Gregorio Hernandez was declared Cultural Heritage of Venezuela in 2021. He is considered intangible cultural heritage, which is the set of cultural manifestations and traditions that are inherent. The recognition is not just material, as it focuses on the cultural and social phenomenon that he has generated.
Think of it this way: his story lives in the thousands of anecdotes, prayers, and promises that a grandmother tells her grandchild. It is the rumor that spreads through every neighborhood. His devotion is alive. It lives in the small candle lit next to a holy card and a home altar. It is the hand-painted mural, the medals, and souvenirs that people wear with pride.
This is the Hospital Vargas. In this hospital, Dr. Jose Gregorio Hernandez worked for a long time, and right here he will take advantage of every afternoon to take a break and enjoy a traditional snack, the Asemita Andina.
We're currently at the Jose Gregorio Hernandez House Museum, where you can find the foundations of what was the doctor's original home, such as the original bronze figure from his house's fountain, and one of his authentic prescriptions recipes written by him.
This is an Asemita Andina with smoked cheese. The Asemita Andina is a sweet, soft, and spiced bread, typical of the Andean region. Its ingredients include wheat flour, levadura criolla, local yeast, milk, eggs, butter, and spices like cinnamon plus grated papillon, hardened sugar, cane juice to give it that unique color and flavor.
And after drink, the doctor used to choose between a thick hot chocolate or the refreshing carato de guanábana, source of carato. The Dr. Jose Gregorio Hernandez had really good taste. This custom has been remembered by Caracas residents during the 105 years that have passed since his death.
In 2021, the beatification of Jose Gregorio Hernandez was celebrated in Caracas, a historic event for Venezuela. Although Pope Francis did not attend personally, he sent a message recognizing his spiritual and social legacy. This was the first beatification held on Venezuelan soil, which turned Jose Gregorio Hernandez into a symbol of national unity. His intercession is revered by millions of people who consider him as a bridge between faith and miracles, especially in times of difficulty.
8 years later, in 2025, his canonization took place in St. Peter's Square in Rome, presided over by Pope Leo XVI. This act constructed him as the first saint born in Venezuela, consolidating his place as a central figure of the country's spiritual identity. The ceremony was one of the most important religious events of the year, and its impact was deeply felt across the nation. Along with Mother Carmen Rendiles, who was also beatified, Jose Gregorio became a historical symbol of faith and healing.
The canonization was requested starting 1949, and it became the fruition after the official recognition of multiple miracles and healings attributed to his intersections. His religious, medical, and human legacy is an essential part of the Venezuelan collective imagination. Today, his image is presented in hospitals, homes, and altars as a living testimony of faith, hope, and the power of solidarity.
We have traveled from Jacksonville's Miracle to the Amadores Street corner. What we discovered is that the legacy of Jose Gregorio Hernandez is the living memory of Caracas, uniting science and faith. The Dr. Jose Gregorio Hernandez did not die on that June 29, 1919. He only changed direction. From the Amadores corner, he moved to our oratories and into the heart of people who, thanks to him, have a tangible symbol of hope. He remains and always will be the doctor of all Venezuelans.